Now, also in the tweet were, let me give a little context to people that haven't seen the tweet. The tweet was a bunch of tweets, so it was pretty much a thread, and in the thread it said a lot of different things. So you say you've guest lectured at a bunch of universities,
Over 30.
over 30,
Mm-hmm.
and the most impressive students are at FAMU.
Correct.
I'm pretty sure you don't know I'm a FAMU guy.
What?
I'm, I'm a I'm a FAMU guy. So
Yay.
so you can see how that really drew me to you. I'm said, it's magical at FAMU, and it's hard to say that to people that haven't experienced it. Why are FAMU students so impressive, and what do you think they do at FAMU better than at other schools that make their students top notch? Do you think
So,
it's the
go
yeah?
ahead.
Do you think it's the recruitment? Is it the training? Is it the focus on the professional and soft skills? Talk to me about what you think.
Well, I want to answer that question with a short answer, and then I want to give you background a little bit. First off, I think it's culture. I think it's all of it. I think it's all of it. I think it's I don't it's so strong. It's not one thing. Like you can't say it's this and this and this because it's all of it. It's the alumni. It's the history. It's all these things. So let me give this context. So um, I've guest lectured at Wharton in Columbia and spoken at Ole Miss, North Carolina. I mean, Florida, Florida State, University of Miami. So lots and lots of universities, big and small, that kind of stuff. When you come in as a guest lecturer, you go into class and the students are nice. They're all nice and kind and things like that. Most of the time they're in shorts or, jeans or whatever and t-shirt, baseball cap, that kind of thing. And when you're lecturing, the students have dead eyes. They're like that. And I said to my wife one time, I was like, why do they always have such dead eyes? And she said, well, they don't want you to call on them. They don't want to ask a question. And so as a lecturer, you have that experience. And then the part two is I always say that in my lectures, I'll say, hey, do you have any questions or anything you would like to ask me or you want to talk about? And overwhelmingly, it's like just crickets. There's just complete silence. So then you go to Florida A&M, okay? You walk into the classroom and there's 80 students and they're all in suits, every single one of them. And you're like, whoa, like this is impressive. And then you're talking and they're making eye contact and they're responding and they're listening and you can tell they're engaged. And then you say, are there any questions? And 80 hands go up. Okay. And you're like, whoa, like you're not able to get to all of them. And so you're like, and you know where this is going. Every one of them stands up. Hello, my name is John Crossman. I'm a junior from Fort Lauderdale. Like they professionally introduce themselves. And then they ask a question that's kind of like inspiring and kind of terrifying. Like they'll be like, Mr. Crossman, in 1997, you're what? You're like this kid. And so as a speaker, I'm just telling you, I spoke on Wednesday at the U.S. Capitol. And I said this, there were members of Congress in the room. And I said, if I took every member of Congress with me to all 30 speeches and said, you could come back to one, I said 100% of you would say Florida A&M University. That's what you as a speaker, it's such a powerful experience, right? I mean, you just don't see anything like that. And more specifically to FAMU, and this is because I love the state of Florida, I'm born and raised here, we lose a lot of great students to other states because other states and companies outside of Florida have got it figured out how powerful FAMU is over a lot of corporations in our own state, right? I just want to jump to say this because it's an important point I was trying to make. It's like diversity does not lower the bar. Diversity widens the net, right? So was the 1965 University of Alabama football team the best representative of athletes in the state of Alabama? Of course not. That was not. They had white defensive backs. That's a joke, but I mean, it's true. But it's ridiculous. It was because of diversity. The University of Alabama football team got better, right? Diversity made them a better team, not a lower team. They're better. So I always tell people, like, look, keep recruiting from your alma mater. I'm never going to tell somebody that graduated from University of Connecticut or UMass or Oregon to not recruit at their own university. Recruit your university and add HBCUs, right? Add HBCUs. I kid you not. I got asked a year and a half to guest lecture at a company that was very self-proclaimed woke. They asked me if I wanted water, and they didn't give me a bottle of water. They gave me a carton of water because they're so sensitive about the environment. And they asked me to talk about my thoughts on diversity. And I started talking about FAMU. Would you believe this? I could see their faces drop. They recruit every year at FSU. They've never been to FAMU.
Wow.
And this is a company that's self-proclaimed like, we're so committed to diversity. And I said, like, guys, they're 2 blocks away. Like, they're looking at each other. It's not like you have to take an Uber, like it's right there. They're right there together. And so, to me, it's like to try to educate more companies to just visit HBCU and recruit their students. And look, I'm telling you, like, pound for pound, pure IQ, business acumen, potential to be the next great Warren Buffett or you name some great business mind, whoever it is. FAMU has that. Okay, they have that. There's no question about it. Other HBCUs that maybe have some students where their average SAT score is lower. There's some other, not all HBCUs are the same. They're hierarchical in different ways. You know that. Does that mean you shouldn't recruit those schools? Man, no, it isn't. Because I'm telling you, sometimes that kid that was that C to B student in high school and did just kind of okay in the SAT, and they just kind of get into college, and they get into college that was easier for them to get in because they couldn't get in this bigger, well-known state university. Sometimes they get in that college and something clicks, and they really start to take off. And that kid that had to take a bus to work, the kid that had a learning disability but was undiagnosed and they had to figure out how to get through life, that kid's got grit. They're tough. They've got energy. They got desire. And I'm telling you, for some jobs, you're like, well, John, we need to interview the best kids at the University of Virginia. I'm like, maybe for some jobs, but I'm telling you, for other jobs, they're not the best kids. I don't care if their average was a 1500 SAT. That doesn't mean they're going to be the best salesperson. That doesn't mean they're going to be the best at, hospitality. It doesn't mean they're going to be best at all kinds of other things that require different kind of skill sets. The way we kind of like camp intelligence out as far as like, they got this SAT and they got this GPA, it doesn't necessarily mean they're going to be the best candidate for this job. So I'm telling you, if you just said, hey, John, I just want to recruit at the best, okay, recruit at Stanford, recruit at Princeton, recruit at Harvard, and FAMU. Those are all on the same. Those are all on the same line in my mind. Okay, they're all the same. If you said, hey, John, I want to recruit because I want to recruit kids that I think can become superstars, I think there's other HBCUs that I would add all over the country that also have superstar potential for different reasons.